I undoubtedly, this is going to be another insightful live session. But you know the way we run it now. Give us a like, share, and drop one or two comments. And let me know where you're joining this live session from. It's been an eventful week, an eventful day. So I want to start by saying a very big thank you to everybody who have been following us. I appreciate if you can monitor what I'm doing here. So I appreciate everybody that have been on this live session, and for those who have not been around, I understand you have a lot of schedule. So let me know where you're joining from. So today we're going to be talking about agro real estate. We're going to be talking extensively on some important things, and today's emphasis will be avoiding scammers. Okay. So if I'm talking about avoiding scammers, what exactly am I talking about? Is it possible for me to get scammed despite the fact that I'm buying acres of land or I'm buying into things? Now, when we talk about scam, I think the major aspect of scam that many people are familiar with here is when people collect your money and they don't give you land, or a receipt is issued and there is no evidence of a landed property. Well, I am delighted to announce to you that scamming has gone beyond what you know, what you think, or what it seems to be. Scamming right now has gone. It's on another level, and I'll be explaining that as we go over today's topic. So, one aspect of real estate investments that I love so much, apart from shortlets, if you have been observant, you will realize that I am, a great advocate of shortlet rentals, and I have always emphasized on the need for you to have and of course diversify a good real estate investment portfolio. And trust me, it has been very nice. It has been very nice. I have some couple of real estate investors that we have helped to acquire different shortlets in different locations. But another aspect that I have not adequately paid attention to is in the area of agro real estate. And one thing I have come to realize basically is that some of the people that portrays themselves as rich people, or who do all this, flamboyant lifestyle on social media, majority of them are not rich. I just realized that what many of them are thinking is attention, I'll say needless attention. So basically, it's not what it used to be. But I have discovered that a lot of people have made fortune selling real estate. A lot of people have made fortune owning owning agro real estate. And I've been doing some couple of research. I was speaking with a man who who shuttles between Canada and Nigeria. And this man owns the largest goat farm. He owns the largest goat farm in, I think, somewhere around Ekiti, the southern part. And when this man was giving us figures of how much he earns annually, it was, I think, close to 1 billion. And this guy says he makes it annually. The funny thing about this is that agro real estate is a real estate investment that has been ignored by so many people. When we say, okay, buy acres of land, because of the fact that many people have had terrible experiences, many people have had, I would say, threatening experiences dealing with different kind of real estate. So they have this generalization that every real estate investment that they do will always end up being bad, and that obviously is not true. And one thing I've also come to realize basically is that for every opportunities that presents it or ourselves, there's always a chances of scam. And basically, if you're investing in Nigeria, I know a lot of people don't like to admit this. There are a lot of some factors, risk factors, that is, attached to every real estate investment. So what differentiates you from other people who are investing is that other people's risk appetite may be higher than yours. But we're going to be unraveling a lot of things today, and my emphasis will be how to avoid investing with scammers. Um, I'm going to be as deliberate and as intentional as possible. I'm not going to mince words. I'm just going to say things the way they are. Then obviously, I will give you an opportunity to make your decision. And on the other hand, as well, I would also, be giving opportunities for questions. And who are scammers? Who are people? Now, when you watch different real estate videos online, a lot of people always advertise with good intention. And in the school of sales, um, agents have been taught, we have been taught that when we prioritize benefits, when we preach benefits, we intend to get the attention of the buyer. And when we talk about agents, I'm talking about we realtors. However, it has now become a sad experience having heard of different instances of people being dragged. And like I said in one of my videos, I said real estate scam has come to stay, basically. And that is why it is very, very important that you are mindful of who you are trading with or who you are investing with. A lot of people doesn't like to hear that, but that obviously is the obvious reality, which must be said. So there was a time in the history of real estate that what dominated properties was selling vacant lands, untitled properties. I don't want to flash back. I know I've had several series where I've explained some of these things, and I'm going to be talking about that. So land banking dominated the real estate scene. People went as far as Odiomi, people went as far as Fulu, people went as far as Okumuson and in other parts of ibeju-lekki. And for 2008, 2009, 2010, buy five get one free or buy six get one free was a catch, that was being used, okay, to sell real estate. And a lot of real estate developers made billions. A lot of people made billions selling untitled lands to real estate investors. I will not be going further to explain what later happened. I believe many of you know what later happened. Of course, I've done series of videos explaining what actually happened and why a lot of people today don't have access to the land. So you must understand that in the industry that we are in Nigeria, developers craft their sales according to trend. So if I want to catch your attention as an investor, if I'm a land seller, okay, I have some estates I want to sell. So what we do basically, what real estate developer does basically is that they look for what is trending and they carve their product around that and they use it to sell to real estate investors. So in this kind of situation, it has become extremely difficult for real estate investors to have an acute understanding of what they are getting themselves into. So there was a time where ibeju-lekki trended on title properties. There were times where Epe trended on title properties as well, and there were times where Ikorodu also trended. I think, of course, there was also a time where the Moniya is saying real estate also trended. A lot of people bought. A lot of real estate developer made money. So you need to understand basically that products or real estate is being carved in accordance to what is trending as at that particular time. So this is very important for you to understand this. The reason why I'm taking my time to explain this is due to the fact that I've said it several times before, but there are some things you need to understand. So when there is a trend, product are being carved or are being packaged, okay, to meet that trend, and of course that trend is used now as an avenue to reach as many people as possible. So those trends now what has now happened basically is that kudos to every real estate educator like myself, like Rabiu, like Patrick. We saw what was happening, and we decided to dedicate larger percent of our lives to tell you the way things are, basically. And to the glory of God, we've been able to help a lot, a lot. In fact, I honestly cannot count the number of people that I have helped, have saved from making terrible real estate. So I'm not here to sing praises, but I'm just trying to let you know the impact of what we are doing, what we have done several times to educate. Because the question basically is that majority of real estate investors are in diaspora. So many people cannot, may not, have an accurate understanding of some of the things that happen here. So, but we have dedicated our time, our expertise, our experience, and of course, our social media to do educative videos like this. And we also expect you, real estate investors, to make better decisions via the informations that we share. Now, what is now trending? What is trending? Now, what is trending right now is palm oil production. Now, remember I said there was a time where buy five get one free, ibeju-lekki land trended. Remember I said there was also a time where they did buy six get free, get one free in Ekpe also trended. Now, what is trending right now is palm oil production. Now, truthfully, there's an aspect of real estate whereby you can buy land with some real estate development company, and they will use your land, okay, to plant palm trees. They harvest, okay, and at the same time they sell and they pay you. Now, when it comes to palm oil production or the planting of palm trees, there are some companies that we have worked with, okay, that have delivered. So, and that obviously is a niche or an area of expertise on their side. So a lot of successful people are making money through investing in lands, planting of palm trees, conversion of um, palm product into palm oil, and selling, exporting, and the like. So there are a lot of people who have made good amount of money, who have really gotten their return of investment. Like for instance, there's a company I'm working with. Presently, what is being projected per acre is, I think, 3 to 5 million after every export and every sale. So these companies are well, they are very, very popular. I've been working with them. This is actually my fourth year, and I can recommend them, okay, because they have track record and they are delivering. Do you understand? So I'm not here to market, but I'm just trying to let you know that what most of these guys do is that they look at a model that is working. Okay, they look at the model that is working. They will design or package their own product in that to be similar to a working model, and they use it to sell. So one of the things you now need to understand basically is that because of the fact that agro real estate right now seems to be what is booming, okay, a lot of fraudulent scammers, inexperienced and desperate companies are also following that trend, and they are also advertising land or palm trees to you. Now, let me quickly give this simple disclaimer so that you can have an accurate understanding that. Now, I'm not saying that all real estate companies that are asking you to buy palm oil are fraudulent. No. What I'm trying to say in essence basically is that a lot of people are in that phase of real estate not because they have the expertise, not because of the fact that they've done it before, not because of the fact they have processing facts, not because of the fact that they are well financed and they have the necessary equipment to convert your palm trees into palm oil, sell. Now, what majority of these guys are doing basically is what I called experiments. So they want to experiment what an existing palm oil producer is doing, okay, and they want to see if they can be successful. Now, I am not always against when someone is trying to do something for the first time and they are trying to do it well. Okay. But the thing basically is that I've had a lot of investors, a lot of our people in the diaspora, they've reached out to me and they've asked questions. Okay, there's this product we saw online. This is what this person is offering. What do you consider? What else do you expect me to say? I'll say it's good. So I should say it's not good, and they will now send them thugs to come and attack me. No, anything you have chosen to do, if you are not doing it through our agency or through our expertise, as long as you are doing it anyway, it is good. So you don't expect me to say something else, and I won't be able to walk through the streets of Lagos. So because of the fact that the trending thing right now is palm oil production, a lot of people are acquiring lands that they don't have the capacity to meet up the target. And how you can avoid investing with scammers in the agro real estate basically is that number one, they have never ever done it before. I'm going to say it again. Number one, they have never ever done it before. So what is happening basically is that they might be willing, okay, to use your own fund to experiment. At the commencement of this video, I said that when you're investing in Lagos or you're investing elsewhere and you are working with inexperienced um fellas, guys, okay, or people, um, you are I said that your risk appetite must be very high so that you can carefully, okay, assess some of these things and you look at your chances. And we'll talk about the chances. You have to evaluate your chances of survival, your chances of success, as well as your chances of failing. So, number one, they are inexperienced. Now, come on about palm oil production. How many have you done before? This is our first project. If your risk appetite is high, you can invest with them. They may succeed, they may not, but like I said, it depends on you as an individual. So if you have, like I said, you have chest, and you can take whatsoever become the outcome you can. Number two, they promise outrageous return on investment. So one of the way you can avoid them basically is you identify them when they start promising outrageous return on investment. Basically, the return on investment is more or less like can be described to as a base, okay, that's being used to lure real estate investors. So I've met some couple of guys in Ibadan, and I've never. So I was having an interaction with them. They had a good proposition. They had a good project. But my problem basically with them is that their first time experience. This is their first time of doing that project. They don't have a good insurance plan, and number three, they are depending on investors' money. Now, in as much as fact that farming is not as capital intensive as maybe our off plan and the likes, it is also important for you to know that a farm that is not properly funded has 70 or higher percentage of what of failure, and this is why it is very important that you have to do a critical evaluation of some of these things so that you will have an accurate understanding of what you're getting yourself into. So you want to look at that very too. Number two, they promise high return on investment. They promise a return that is not realistic. Imagine someone who is just doing agro real estate and is promising you 6 million for 1 acre as a return. That's number two. Number three, they don't have a good framework for success of that farm. Now, for instance, I spoke about um one of the people we have partnered and we have worked with in the agro real estate. And one of the things I discovered basically is that these guys are heavily backed. uh They have government support, they have insurance, they have equipment, and they have adequate people. And one thing I also discovered from some of these our partner basically is that they are well trained in this agro real estate, and from their expertise and their of what they are doing in the palm oil production, they've been able to expand to other aspects of real estate, which basically to me is highly commendable. However, when they are promising what they cannot do and they don't have a good framework. Now, a lot of people have been asking, so how can I tell? How do I know what will be the framework? Now, I've always said this before, and I'm going to say it. See, as far as real estate is concerned, you should understand what regulates, what guides, and what protects your investment. Now, one of the things I've come to realize basically is that some of these guys are testing the waters, or I would say they are trying to use your money, okay, to do what? To see if they will succeed. So, what is a good framework? Number one, accessible farmland. Number two, adequate manpower. Number three, government support. Number four, equipment and facilities. Now, there are some that are palm planting palm trees, harvesting it, and selling it to producers. Like, for instance, what I'm trying to say is that there are some agro related companies who may not be able to afford, okay, all the equipment like the processing plants, the tractors, and every other thing that might be needed, okay, for you to have a successful farming experience. So what some of them do is that after harvesting this, they sell to people who have processing plants and every other equipment and facilities that can use them, that can convert them. Okay. Now, in scenario whereby they sell to people who are going to produce, you don't make good return, because you see the return of palm oil production is always maximized if you are the one processing, and sometimes too it is also maximized if you are in control of the market. Now, this is why the expertise of your realtor or whoever is recommending that properties or that agro real estate to you is very, very important. They need to understand what are the drivers of the market. What is the market ratio? What do these guys command? Because you see, if you understand the market ratio, then you can evaluate and know what you are going to be making over the specified period of time. So if they don't have all the required expertise and facilities, they are doomed to fail. Number four, they don't also pay attention to the market analysis. Yes. Now, I've seen instances whereby one of our partners promised, I think this was around 2 years ago, he promised some amount of money, and before somebody can tell you that this is what you will earn, you need to understand that several factors determine pricing. More importantly, if it's a commodity product, if it's a commodity market. Now, because of the fact that there is competition in this industry, we have a lot of people who are majorly right now into palm oil production. So there is competition of prices, there's competition in the area of demand, and there's competition in the area of what? The quality of product. So in some cases, okay, what determines the price is what? The market evaluation of other competitors. Like, for instance, I can say I want to sell this, um let's say I want to sell my palm oil 25 liters for 50,000. If my competitor is offering something lesser, I know I stand a chance of not making out. So when these guys promise return without evaluating what the market forces are or what the market price is, that's when you start having problems. That's when you start saying, okay, these guys promise this and they fail to deliver. So you must understand some of these things. Very, very critical. It is critical that you understand that. So how can you now avoid this? Point number six, do not be desperate. Point number six, do not be desperate. Now, when I talk about desperate, the thing is that I've witness how clients are being pressured. There is this particular investor, particular client of mine. Um, I've been managing his property since 2018. So what this man does basically is that if he sees any product or any project that is interested, okay, he will just send it to me and ask me to go and investigate. There was a particular time before he came up with that idea of, you know, getting me involved in some of these products. I think he called a particular realtor over a product, and that particular realtor failed to understood that the man was just making an inquiry. It's not as if he wanted to buy, he just needed more information about it so that he can compare to what he has at his produce at his disposal at that time. Now, so this particular realtor thought or misinterpreted the man's inquiry for interest, and she started calling this man even at odd hour. You can imagine, a married man. How can you be calling a married man at odd hour? So the stress got to a point that the man called the realtor and said, "I am only making an inquiry. Don't mistake my inquiry for interest." The lady said, "Okay, she's going to give him discount. She's going to do this. She's going to do that." So the man sensed desperation and he said, "Okay, I will call you when I'm ready." Now, this lady kept on calling. He kept on calling, sending broadcasts, sending all kind of messages. And this particular client of mine was forced to block the lady. So, because the pressure was more and he had no choice than to block the lady now used another number to call and was laying curses on the man. And I think that was an experience that my particular client didn't want to have again in his life. So anytime he sees it, because there are times that he has seen a lot of stuffs online, a lot of product online that we have gone to search, and they don't have good documentation. They are not in good location. Their topography is bad. Because you see, when something is being advertised to you, they don't show you the negative part of that place, because they believe that when you have access to the negative part or you get to see the negative part, you may not want to buy from them. And because of the fact that a lot of people are anchoring their real estate career on desperation, okay, that obviously has given us or given good people like us in the industry a name that we definitely do not deserve. So there are times that this particular one will call me, okay, say, Ade, this is okay, fine. I'm gonna pay for your transportation, your fueling. Please let me know your service charge and the likes. Help me check this. Help me check. See, this month alone, the man has sent me product, even in our Lekki here, and we've done search with our professional team of professional, and those products are no-go area. So you must be very, very careful. More importantly, because you see, a lot of people have seen how successful these farm rich guys are. They've seen how successful the kind of market they command. They have seen their client base, and when you look at them, basically, there's result to show for it. For someone that has done palm oil, a lot of what many people don't understand is that agro real estate is one of the most demanding real estate. So every real estate is demanding, but agro required some level of unending consistency. So it is very important for you to understand that. So if you're making a choice of who to work with, then you obviously want to put it into consideration. So when we're talking about agro real estate, it is very vast. So these are the ways you can avoid scam. These are the simple ways that you can avoid being scammed if you are investing in agro real estate. Now, a lot of people have asked me, should I invest in agriculture? Now, if you have been following my videos, there have been several instances where I've always been recommending that you have an investment portfolio. Basically, the purpose of every real estate investment is to attend to different needs of the society. Like you have rental properties, You have bought rental properties, you know the rental market, we are going to make money from it. You have bought short-let properties, of course, you know you're going to make monthly revenue from it. You have some properties in strategic location. You are well assured that you're certainly going to make, you know, good return on investment. So in the process of doing that, why it has become very difficult is due to the fact that a lot of people buy whatever is available in the market, and that is, I've also made that mistake before. You know, there was a particular time where I was buying everything that was in the market. I'm also an investor. A lot of people don't they are fail to realize that I've bought properties that I regretted. Yes, I'm not going to come here and, you know, pretend as if I've not made mistake in real estate. I've done that before. And what was the experience? Trust me, there are some companies that I bought properties from, and today I'm still praying that may we never cross path anymore. And the reason why I'm saying that basically is just due to the fact that I would also say I'm a victim of packaging. You know, I've seen several instances of where a lot of things are being projected to us. You know, we leave and go for inspection in high, you know, having that kind of high expectation, and sometimes what we later found out are way contrary to what we have been seeing. And you will also notice that some of these guys are also defending rubbish. And these things, I don't know how else to describe it, but it is insane, and it should not be tolerated in the industry. But what I'm trying to say in essence, basically, is that when you are investing in agro real estate, prioritize experience, prioritize structure, prioritize safety, prioritize professionalism, and prioritize experience. See, if you don't pay attention to some of these things, because you see, we have a lot of newbies who are exploring not because of the fact that they have good intentions. I've seen a lot of companies they've sold investments that they've lost possession of. A lot of them that have seen a lot of people have left the country, and the ones that had nowhere to go have rebranded. In case you are hearing of new names, you know, I've said it before. What you might be seeing as a new real estate company might be a company with bad reputation who still want to remain in the industry. What they'll do is they'll change name, they'll change office, they'll change logo. You know, rebranding in this our industry is 100% real. So when I spoke about it in one of my episodes, I was not exaggerating. I was telling you the fact. I'm telling you what, and that's why sometimes I think I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. That's why most of these guys don't like us. They don't like us basically because we tell you the way things are. So these are, in as much as fact that agro real estate is good. If you are not careful, you may still, you know, have terrible experience by investing with people who are desperate for fame, who are desperate for money, and who are desperate for what? For wealth. And if you have, you know, worked with such kind of person, you then later find out that you shouldn't have even had anything to do with them in the first place. So this is where I'm going to draw to this curtain. So I'm going to be responding to some questions that I had, you know, in my previous live video. I'm going to respond to some of those questions, and at this, on the other hand, too, I'm going to be making few additions in case you're coming across this Facebook profile. This is Adejare Ademololuwatoyin on Facebook, then King's Court TV on YouTube. We talk basically on matters relating to real estate, and we share expertise, ideas, and this. So I have a question. What if I intend to start? Oh, that's a very good question. What we're doing in Nigeria basically is that we're encouraging our people abroad to invest back home, and regardless of the news that is being paraded, regardless of, you know, all those discouraging things, the question basically is there's no place like home, and there's some level of influence you will control your home country that you may not be able to control, you know, overseas. So we are always, emphasizing and encouraging our people invest back home. Africa is still golden, and some of the things that are happening basically may be due to the fact that a lot of things, are probably wrong with the system, and we pray that things get better. Yes, you can. However, if you want to do there are two types of agriculture you can do. We have palm oil production, we have production, we have, did I say two? We have several. We have cassava production, we have livestock production. Now, for livestock production is a little bit volatile. My elder brother, who is in the US, I think one of the wrongest approaches he made basically was he started with livestock production in a bush in Nepal, and the what's wrong with you? You can go out. So what actually happened basically was that if we're raising the pigs, the ram and the cow in a bush, and they were fly, there were other harmful insects, um, that were piercing those animals. Then majority of them sustained injury, and the process we lost half of them, and it was a loss. It was a loss. These are some of the experiences we are talking about. Okay, and it was a lesson, not a positive lesson, that we learned, and then we have come to realize that we won't make such mistakes again. So agro real estate is very, very volatile, but there are still some people who are doing it who are successful. So I would say basically, if you don't have the industry expertise on how to build, grow, and sustain it, I would suggest you leave it for a while until you have understood what it requires for you to run a successful livestock production farm. And then we also have other. So should I invest? Yes, you should. Now, for some of my people who are in the diaspora, you are not in Nigeria, and one of the reasons why that farm too was not successful was due to the fact that we put known people, like say family members, some family members in charge of the farm, and because of familiarity and the likes, the farm was drained. Like, apart from the fact that we had fly and some other, those were like minor things, but there were other internal factors, hiring inexperienced people. The people who were working were very greedy. They were not declaring the actual profit and some other things that were realized from the sales of those palm. And so what actually happened basically was that automatically crumbled the farm, and there was no proper accountability, and that obviously made him discouraged, and we had to close down the farm. Now we've closed down the farm, and I think this should be like the second year since we shut down the farm, because he was just spending money and we're not seeing anything from that. And that was the reason why I said it is very important that if you are going into agro, more importantly, you want to do um, some other things. I would say that you prioritize expertise in this industry. So there are different kind of product, but if you are based abroad and you are not in the country at the moment, yes, you can still invest. But what I would like advise you to do is do it with a company that can invest on your behalf, do the cultivation, and have an agreed payment structure of how you will earn. So if you do that, that will put you, in an advantage that, okay, while you are still abroad, you are still earning. But if you have trusted hands, well, you can go to all those um, locations where you can have access to acres. Then you buy, you train people, you put them, and of course you start making your money. So those are the two types of you know. And yeah, I was equally surprised when I found out that even Europeans, Chinese are buying all the acres that we have in Mojoda, Iragushi, those acres. Those lands they say Lagos State government. Well, we are still waiting for them. People bought those lands in acres, and they are farming. So if you drive towards the interior part of Epe, Ijebu-Ode, Epe Korodu, Epe Ijebu, there are a lot of farmlands. In fact, it has now gotten to a point that Nigerians are now well oriented, and they have seen the need for them to grow what they eat. So we have farms everywhere in Lagos, in Ogun State, and other. So people are exploring farm, and it's a good, at least if you are um if your farm can guarantee, let's just say maybe every 2 months or every 3 months, your farm can guarantee 50, 100, 500 tubers of yam, you are solving the problem of shortage of food. And it's also important that we need to grow beyond where one region will be depending. We all have the soil, we all have the manpower, so there's really nothing to stop us from exploring and getting the best out of it. So these are some of the things you need to do, you need to avoid if you are going into agro real estate. So I would open the line. Please, in case you're coming across, give us a like, give us a share. You can share this broadcast with people. Then you can also ask your questions. If you have questions, please let me know, and we'll continue from there. So, in the absence of no questions, um, I just want to quickly drop this, and I hope you find value. So, these are things that are very, very important. So, the next thing I'm also, because of course, obviously not today, the next thing I'm also going to be talking about basically is how to resolve land disputes. I'm going to be talking about that. Obviously, not today. Not today. Um. Okay. Today is Wednesday. Okay. I have movement tomorrow. I have movement on Friday, and of course Saturday is Premier League football. I know that sounds a little bit, but I would not. A lot of my viewers are football fans, so but let's see what happens. If I will come in online, I'll let you know. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who have joined this live session. I wanted to be short because I don't have much to say today, and I believe that the little I have, I've said will go a long way and they make lasting impact. So there's really nothing much to say. I've said what needed to go out. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that have been following us, and see you. Of course, like I said, I have record videos of a lot of people are asking, okay, so what can we invest in? Of course, I've been posting YouTube shorts on some of our listings, properties. So I'm also working on my Instagram page is ready, but and of course my website is presently under maintenance. We're trying to put a lot of things, so I'll be dropping the address in subsequent videos. But I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who have joined me today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now. God bless you.